Hello and welcome to letmebefree.com. This is going to be the first of a series of introduction videos that I'm going to produce just to get you up to speed with the very basics of how to use Zone Trader Tutor. So I have in front of me at the moment a Aussie dollar monthly chart. The very first thing I want to do is to show you how to create a template which you can easily apply to lots of different charts. So on my left in my navigation I have the Zone Trader Tutor Expert Advisor, which I've previously installed. I'm not going to go through that again, there is other videos to demonstrate that. And what I'm going to do is just drop it onto my chart, enter my username, a license key that you'll have received when you subscribe. In this case it's a dummy one, it doesn't work, so no need to try it out, and then OK that. We'll just leave it a second, it flips through the zones and it draws all these lines on the charts, and the next session will demonstrate how you interpret these, but for now I want to carry on showing how to create a basic template. So there's two things you can do. The first thing is to reopen the settings and then save and then call it, let's say, default set. Default set to make it a bit nicer. Save. Okay. Now the advantage of doing that, which is not where I'm going to take you next, but is if we then add another chart, you can go to Euro for instance, I will drop that onto my chart, and then I can just say load default set and it automatically populates with my username and license key again, so I don't need to remember those. I'll say OK. It draws lines on the euro dollar chart this time. Okay, let's go back to the Aussie dollar. And the next thing to do is how to store template. This little icon up here, you can see templates pops up. What this allows you to do is to apply a default set of indicators or lines or whatever you want onto the chart. For example, I have one called default, which when I apply that, it has absolutely nothing on it. It just has a white background, black and white candles, and that's it. So let's imagine I want to set up one called Zone Trader Basic, or let's say ZTT Basic. So I'll drop the Zone Trader onto the graph. I'm going to use my previous settings to load the defaults, which includes my username and my license key. I'll just OK that. Now what I recommend doing first is to actually get rid of all these lines whilst leaving the Zone Trader Expert Advisor on the chart. And I have a macro which can actually do that, which you can download from the forum. So I just drop that on, you'll see that all these lines disappear, but the EA is actually still on the chart and you still get these things up there. What we do now is go to this drop down menu and say save template. And we're going to call this ZTT default template. So, okay. Just save that. Notice the lines don't come back, but if we then go to this and say ZTT default template, apply it, and lines come back. Now if we open another chart, let's say the USD Canadian dollar, the loonie, and then apply the template ZTT default, give it a second, and it puts the lines in the right place on here. So you can see all we're doing is we applied the Zone Trader Tutor with the settings we want, we got rid of all the lines, and then we saved it as a template which we can then use for any other chart we want, and it saves us having to re-enter a load of settings, or in particular our username and our license key again. Now one other trick I want to show you before this short lesson finishes is sometimes you'll have a lot of charts open, so let me open a few more. Pound Aussie, dollar yen, majors, Kiwi yen, euro pound. So we've got quite a few charts open at the moment, and it can take quite a long time to apply the Zone Trader Tutor Expert Advisor to every single chart, unload the settings and so forth. So I have a script on my website, which again you can download from the forum, which is called Apply Templates to All Charts. Now all this does is use the template that we set up previously and apply it across all our open charts. So notice the thing to do is notice where in the list it is. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th one down. So all we do is grab the script, enter 7, OK, and give it a little while, and you'll find that it applies. All these new charts which we've just opened should have the templates applied. So that's a euro pound, there's the Kiwi, Japanese yen, and these ones that we already had it applied, that just reapplies it. So it's exactly the same thing. It has actually reapplied it because it was already on there before. We don't notice any difference. So equally, if you want to clear Zone Trader Tutor off all these charts, we can actually use the default template that I showed you briefly, which is number 2 in the list. So if I go to Apply Templates to all charts, change that to number 2, OK, give it a second, and all the charts are now blank, exactly as if I've applied the default template to each of them. Now one last trick I want to show you before I finish. You may actually quickly want to change, when you have a lot of charts of different currency pairs open, you may want to change them to all be a single time frame. Well, I have another script that's very easy to use to do that, again downloadable from the forum. You select the time frame on one chart that you want. Let's say we want the H4, and we're going to select it on the Aussie dollar. Select that, and then we just grab the script called Sync Timeframes. Drop that onto the chart, and you notice that all these other ones instantly switch to the 4-hour chart. So that's a quick way, and that works even if you have the Expert Advisor applied to all of them. So let me just quickly do that. Zone Trader Tutor. Let's still do it. Apply 1, Zone Trader Tutor, default template. Apply that. I want to apply that to all the other charts. So apply template to all the charts. Number 7. I didn't actually need to apply that previous template. This will do the same thing. OK. And you will, after a few seconds, find that it gets applied to all these other charts which were empty. And now I want to change them all to the daily time frame. So before I drag that, I change the one of interest that I'm on at the moment to the daily. Sync time frames, drop it on there, and how you find that the Aussie dollar is daily, Euro dollar, Pound Aussie, they're all set at daily chart. So that brings this brief introductory lesson of how to get started with the Zone Trader Tutor to a conclusion, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson to come shortly. Thank you.